Uh, Hello, good afternoon, Harmeet ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, this side Akhil Raj. I'm the faculty coordinator from IIC Ramanujan College. Welcome you,
Very nice
ma'am.
to meet. Thank you so
So
much.
yeah. We will just start the session in another 5 minutes, ma'am. Meanwhile, let other students also join. We'll
Yeah,
just start in
please.
another 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hey, Dipansh.
Ma'am, can we start now?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from the institution's Innovation Council, Ramanujan College. I, Dipansh, your host for the day, would like to extend a warm welcome to our respected faculty members and my peers to this enriching and motivational workshop on the topic Lean Startup and Minimum Viable Product and Business. As our eminent resource person for the day, we have with us Ms. Harmeet Ma'am, the co-founder advisor at Fermata Consulting, an organization focusing on corporate trainings, career guidance, and coaching. Harmeet Ma'am is a certified global career counselor from University of California, Los Angeles. She is an NLP practitioner as well as a master trainer on entrepreneurship. We welcome you, ma'am, and now I would like to invite you to take over. I am sure that all of us are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dipansh. My greetings to the faculty and dear friends who have joined to attend this session, largely on entrepreneurship, right? We are going to talk from few areas, but the broad area that we are talking about is entrepreneurship. Dipansh, what I would like to do is I have to share my screen.
Yes, ma'am, you're able to do that.
I have the rights, okay. So, hence we will start, being in an online mode, if I keep talking, that will not help. So I thought, let me have a presentation, which will make the session interactive and we will engage together. How do I remove this bar? Dipansh, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
And you see these bars also?
No, ma'am. I am not seeing our videos, but I am seeing a black bar.
You are seeing the black bar, right? And you see the slide as well, right? Is this okay?
Yes, ma'am, it's okay now.
All right. So, welcome to the world of entrepreneurship. And your first relationship with entrepreneurship should be a friendly relationship. And that's what I have my relationship with by being an entrepreneur for last 15 to 17 years. And I have loved the whole journey. A lot of learnings, roller coaster ride, a lot of failures, and a lot of successes. So as I start, one sec. Yeah, so quick introduction, brief one was done by Dipansh. Broadly, I am an educator and entrepreneur and started as a lecturer in University of Delhi, did that for 7-8 years, wanted to change my career and moved on to entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship helped me find my purpose. What is the core that I really want to do, which is career and college counseling. So what I've understood in these years of working and having my personal and professional experience, the mantra that I always follow is learn to unlearn and to learn. And that has always helped me to take challenges, to also make calculated risk and to learn new things which my career requires or which my personality would demand. I would request everybody to participate and I will try my level best that the session is interactive. Yeah. So more or less a discussion points, which are like questions, so that you are able to interact and largely help you to build your thought process. I'm not here to give any gyan, but I'm sharing my experience. So all those who are present, I would like to know, what do you want to learn today? Is there any specific takeaway you have in mind? And please, you can unmute yourself and talk, or please type in the chat box. I would have access to the chat box, right? This is the common one. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
I want to learn one thing today, like when like I belongs to a business family.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So there is my primary family business.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn something new, but I know my family business too.
Mm-hmm.
So first, initially, I should concentrate on the primary business or the secondary business. What I want to know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? What it takes to make money work for myself. Okay. So this question would be in context of today's topic, right? Startup or entrepreneurship. That's how I will address this question. Anybody else? Okay. How can the lean startup and renewable product methodologies help entrepreneur minimize risk and maximize success in today's competitive business landscape? All right. I think I will be addressing this. Anything, any other question or any other basically takeaway? So all those who are present, what made you come and attend this session? You're sparing 1 hour. You could have slept, you could have played a game, you could have spoken with someone. Why are you here?
I am doing anchoring.
Okay. So you took that responsibility, right?
Yeah,
You chose that. That's
yeah,
your choice.
I chose that. Yeah.
Right? Okay. So that was your, your preference. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, someone come again?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, now.
Ma'am, actually,
No, your voice went. No. We cannot hear you.
am I audible now?
Now, yes.
Ma'am, I had a curiosity that nowadays it's very digital. We present our idea, we can make a simple PPT and everything. What is the use of that minimal viable product? Or is it a different stage that we have to consider it in? Like idea presentation is a different stage, and then viable product is a different stage.
Okay. Okay, to have takeaways from your experience as it can't be found YouTube. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. So as we proceed, anybody who wants to share or have a question, please raise your hand or put it in the chat box. That will help me. So agenda for today's startup ecosystem and trends and opportunities to ideate, which I'm going to connect to the minimum viable product. Yeah. Now, when we look at the startup ecosystem, what does it mean to you, to each one of you who is attending? What does a startup ecosystem, lean startup ecosystem mean to you?
I think an innovation in the society which helps a particular group or the society
Mhm.
to use that facility easily, like for
Okay.
convenience.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? So each one of you would have your meaning, right? What does a startup ecosystem mean to you?
It may be a network of resources, like we have many people or employees in our startup. We have investors, institutions which can support us,
Right.
companies.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So when we say that, all those who are present, when do you want to start? When do you want to have your own startup? Are you thinking now? Like someone said, I have a family business. Maybe he may want to like to join now itself, or 2 years, or 5 years, or there's never a thought. I will never be an entrepreneur. I will never have a startup.
After college.
Sorry.
After college.
No, I am not able to understand.
And I said after college.
After college. Okay. All right.
I think in my college,
Okay. During your college time.
during my college.
Okay. Vaibhav is saying within 2 years. Okay.
Five years.
Okay. You want to do it in 5 years. All right. So what resources would you require? Would you need? What resources would you need for that? Whenever you want to start.
An idea,
Mm-hmm.
a group of resource person
Okay.
required, a group of skill set, a
Mhm.
bunch of skill set
Hmm.
to enhance and a good network.
Right. Okay.
And after
Anybody?
that, some kind of funding.
Okay. Anybody else?
An idea, a group of similar mindset people
Mm-hmm.
and supporting parents.
Okay. All right. That's a good one. When you mention supporting parents. So how are you going to source these resources? Whenever you start. Okay, conceptual clarity, feasible idea. How can I support myself throughout? Right. Okay. So how are you going to source these resources?
And by collecting the information from now on, like who are these people, and doing these things and building our skill set will, and society will trust us.
Okay. Okay.
So I will gonna start in my point of view. I'm gonna start with reading the society and what the really the problem is,
Mm-hmm.
specifying the problem, going for the idea that can help me out. So problem identification will be the first step for my to go for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And after that, the skill set I can obviously there are
Mm-hmm.
various platforms where I can learn the skill set. Networking is all about communication.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
Right.
the basic is the 60% is about idea. कि आपके पास idea is how good your idea is. Rest is important, but the main thing is idea.
Right. So idea is essentially okay. And to run the idea, what are the resources that you feel you will? How are you going to get those resources? Right. So like, if you have a feasible idea, then how are you going to start?
Ma'am, by participating and communicating in the society or in the fields in which our idea had come in our mind,
Okay. Okay.
real life
would
situation.
say institutions like our IICs and all, every year government is setting up many institutions, innovation councils, like
Mhm.
many IITs and all. They're guiding students for all of this, like how can you ideate your idea into proper startup,
Hmm.
and they're guiding them.
Hmm.
And if the idea is so much feasible, they
Mhm.
are funding them as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
So I think these institutions are more feasible.
Hmm. Okay. Anybody else? How many participants do we have? I cannot see it now.
24.
25. So out of 25 participants, two or three are talking, right? So I want to hear others as well. When you look at your startup, we discussed when do you want to start, and when you start, what resources would you need? So idea is definitely part of your startup, but then what resources would you need? So one part is definitely your own college and the government support. These are resources where funding is going to come. But what are the other resources? And how are you going to get them? So I will actually put it in a more simpler way. Think you have your startup right now, which is 2 years from now or 5 years or now itself, right? So you have a startup and you've decided that you're starting up and you have to look for resources around. So what are the resources that are immediately available? Can someone talk about their own idea?
Yes, ma'am. Like
Okay.
my idea is chopped fruit business.
Chopped fruit business.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Cut fruit basically is what you're going to
Yes, ma'am.
sell. Okay.
Like Subway is doing the customizable sandwiches.
Yeah. Right.
I will be doing chopped fruits dishes.
Okay. Okay. Done. Wonderful.
So my immediate resources would be the suppliers,
Mm-hmm.
A-grade fruit suppliers,
Mm-hmm.
and the vendors which are on the streets. Like they are the ones who are many in India. Like most
Right.
of
So they fall under the category of your suppliers itself, right?
yes.
Okay. So that's one category, right? What else? I'm not able to hear.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
my next resources would be skilled fruit choppers and the containers of the fruit in which I will be serving the customers.
Hmm.
The
Okay.
fruit bucket which is like airtight,
Mm-hmm.
which uh, gives the fruit shelf life for 20 to 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yes, ma'am. These are my immediate resources.
Okay. And from where are you operating? Is
Ma'am,
it home? Is it on the street? Is it an office?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in my first idea, I was thinking that I would be listing on the Swiggy app. Like I will be having a ghost store warehouses which are not offline, but they are only online. But now I think that it would degrade the quality of the in the initial stage.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, I would be opening an offline store first
Hmm.
and see how the growth happens. Like because India is a very uh, price related market. Like people don't want to give extra for their daily essentials.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would keep my product affordable and I would be running an offline store.
Okay, so you will have your offline store. That's your place of operation, right? Okay. What else do you need? Anybody else also, please, if you want to talk about your idea, because that's how we are going to progress to how to think that why your startup will be successful and how do you get into a minimum viable product.
I think
So it's not an idea. Sorry, Dipansh, are you speaking? You can continue.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the first question which I asked ma'am, like the clarity that primary business or secondary business would be my first preference while starting this journey.
Agreed. Okay. Yeah, Krishna.
So thankfully with the society, ma'am, when I was in the initial part of the society, so we went for this problem identification task in the market near Delhi only. And we found that this theft is one of the biggest problem. And at that time, this thing comes to my mind. I don't know what it's right or not, but I'm just thinking about something that the amalgamation of two technologies, which is the GPS and the Bluetooth, and creating something that if my thing is at some point, and to divide the lands, if I have a land, I divide into various grids and name each grid, and my object is in the grid, जो भी मेरा object grid पे है, अगर वो उससे move हो, then I could get a signal on my watch or on my phone that something is, that object of mine is moving from that grid.
Let's say your car is there, right? And if it's moving,
exactly.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somewhere amalgamation of this GPS technologies with Bluetooth is
Very nice. Okay. Okay. So what resources do you need?
Obviously, one of the biggest resource which I need for this thing is a man with a technical hand.
Right.
Who has great technical knowledge, who can solve my this. I have the vision, but I don't have the required skill. I'm developing these skills.
Right.
I'm trying to develop on myself by own, but still I'm learning.
Okay. Okay. All right. So how many first year students do we have in this today in the session? Or what is the background? First year, second year, third year? Can someone give me a heads up?
So, ma'am, it's third years and second years, ma'am. To be straight, first year has not been just. They have been recruited. The admission is still
right.
on the way.
Yeah, right. Okay, so second and third year students.
Yeah.
All right. So, little more thinking. Before thinking, let's look at some of the resources. Like someone said, Dipansh was mentioning that it's the college itself, right? The council itself, where the institution itself provides resources, the government comes in, and then the funding happens. But these are also some of the resources. I'm talking this at the broad level when you need support. These are not the resources for your startup to run, but these are the resources which will give you the infrastructure or the platform to start thinking how you are going to do it, right? So NEN is a very seasoned organization, which started primarily with the purpose of supporting startups and entrepreneurship. Your Story is a platform which every day publishes stories about startups, everything and anything about them. And you know about incubation centers, your college has an eCell, or the angel investors and the government programs. Now, when we look at that, and the Y Combinators, yeah, everything I included in the incubation center, right? Why? The now important part is, why will the resources help you? What do you have to offer? If you have to give someone money, 100 rupees, fund 100 rupees to a school student who says, I want to do a lemonade business, Why will you give that? What will convince you that you should give 100 rupees and you will get back 100 rupees plus profit as well of 50 rupees, right? So why will you help? And what do you see in that young child that you should give that money, lend that money?
That if I'm investing rupees 100, what is the return of my investment? If I'm giving 100 rupees, what am I going to get in return? That's the very basic knowledge I can get
what
of
is
कि अगर मैं
the
100 रुपए
return?
डाल रहा हूँ तो मुझे 150 रुपए रिटर्न चाहिए.
Right, ठीक है. Why will these resources help you? So now as an entrepreneur, think you are getting the answer that if you are taking money, then you have to return it with the profit, right? So what can you offer? What is something that will excite someone, the other person, to invest in you? Be it your supplier. Supplier is also investing in you, right? Or your investor, or people.
I think that because of our unique idea, it would not be the first preference of the investors. But if they will see our previous sales or previous growth, they will give their hard-earned money to us.
Right, right. Absolutely. So I just go back to this question, what resources are immediately available? Do you think if I say family and friends are your first resources to make your startup successful?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So nobody said that. You need money, but we are thinking of investors, we are thinking of government support, but your family and friends are your first set of investors in you. And when they do that, what do you have to offer? They are trusting you, right? तो थिंक ब्रॉडली, और बड़ा सोचिए कि आपको क्या, अगर आपको किसी बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट करना हो तो आप क्यों करेंगे? क्योंकि रिटर्न तो इमीडिएटली नहीं आने वाला. So very clear, the first part of your startup is, why will someone put money or give you the resources? Money is just one resource. There are so many other resources, right? So when you do that, when you have to find that, you have to do a SWOT analysis. जैसे दीपांश कह रहे हैं कि मैं कट फ्रूट का बिजनेस करूंगा, या कृष्णा is saying I want a technical person, so he knows that my weakness is that I don't have a I don't have technical expertise, but I would need a technical person. So before you get into actually starting a business, it is very important that you do a SWOT analysis. Someone also said the skills that are required, right? Now, in my entrepreneurial journey, I eventually realized, when I started, I realized I don't have marketing and sales skills. So it was very hard for me to sell. And when I realized that weakness, then I had to change my strategy to get business for to get customers for my business. So these are the essential skills when we are talking about. How many of you feel that you have all of these skills to start your venture? Can you put it in the chat box? You can put 1 or yes. Can someone do that? How many of you feel that you have all these skills to start a business?
Ma'am, I don't think that I have the skill of decision making. My decisions fluctuate time to time from outside.
I think it's a completely impossible for a person to have all skills. It can
Okay.
never be possible.
Okay.
It's factually and living on it's not possible for having all the skills. At a moment
Absolutely.
in the market, there are a lot of skills are required, and you can be a good in one, but you can't have every skills which is required.
Right, right. So when you are starting up and you're thinking of, I am the only person, I am the boss, I want to be the boss, then either you should have all these skills, or you should have a mentor, or you should have a partner who will complement. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So as we started, we said, yes, the startup ecosystem, that was my purpose of helping you think through that. Startup ecosystem covers people, investors, institutions, and companies who are willing to invest in your business, willing to invest in your idea, in fact, so that you are able to grow. But these days, the startup ecosystem has changed. I will just stop sharing my screen, and I would want some of the participants to please talk, because then only I'll get into the next part. What is your questions here, or any specific question till now, what we have done, or any specific thought that any one of you want to share? Besides Dipansh and Krishna. And I would request, please, faculty also participate. This is, you are sparing your valuable time present here for 1 hour. It would be lovely to hear, listen to your thoughts. And we don't know, one day one of you would be an entrepreneur, or you would be supporting your students in entrepreneurship. Yes, Samir. So till now, what we discussed, does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that make sense? Okay. Anybody? So we all knew, all those who are here, we all knew what was said till now, or something, there were some triggers, something to take away, something to apply. It's not only about, as I said, it's not the gyan that I'm going to talk about, but it's about the application, because entrepreneurship is doing it. So now when we talk about the minimum viable product, what I'll do, I'll talk a little bit, start with ideation and some of the trends. And from there, as an ideation, how are you going to build your minimum viable product? Probably from there, all of you are going to provide me the answers, right? Because what do you understand by minimum viable product is will come through when you're using the right tool. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen again. Yeah, so when we talk about the startup, so when we talk about creating your minimum viable product, how do you do that? What do you think about before you start? So you have an idea, right? Or you have to think of an idea. You have to think about an idea. And how will you do that?
So I will
go ahead, Krishna, then Dipansh will go. Yeah.
So for this, I will look upon the trends what is going on in the world and what's the real problem is, and is my solution is profitable enough that I can I can set up a business on that. So that's one of the basic thing I will gonna look forward. The first thing I will gonna look forward for it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Dipansh.
I think when I was thinking of my idea, like in my SEC class, our teacher gave this project, like we have to find an idea. So she told us to find this idea in the real world, like the people who are you living with and the problems that you are facing in your daily life. So when I thought of this, like I am right now, I am in PG, so I'm not getting the good quality fruits like in hometown. So that brings me to my chopped fruit business. Like real life situations and questioning my friends and family that would you pay for this?
Right. Very nice. Okay. Anybody else? Because from here we are going to derive how are you going to arrive at your minimum viable product. Anybody else would like to share? Okay. So now the question, if you are given a magic wand, which problems would you like that, which of your problems should go away? I think here everybody can answer, right? Because all of us have at least one problem which we really want that it should go away. So what would that be? And that's age agnostic, be it a student, be it a professor. Yeah. We all want that one problem should go away. Is there one problem can we identify? Like cut fruit is one. Krishna's problem is on theft. Okay, money is one. All right. Money is not a problem. So we have to love money to attract
I'm
money.
saying that if I have a want, then I can have a lot of money.
Lot
that
of
would
money.
solve
Okay.
my every problem. I can
Really?
hire a person. I can hire a person, a technical person. I can have funds for my company. I can do everything.
Okay. All right. All right. So money is one problem that you want to get solved for your venture, right? Anybody else? Anything?
So while this thing,
Yeah, Harsh.
So being a student, I'm living in like outstation areas. So whenever we settle down into PGs, then we like in the 90% of the cases, the students didn't get the good quality food. That is the major problem. And like be it any startups who are in even the cooling spaces or in the PG space, they are kind of ignoring the quality of food that or the people who are residing there. So, like, not an exactly idea I'm going to run it.
All right.
But,
that's the problem that you're mentioning. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Getting good quality food is a serious problem that needs to be solved, right? Okay. So like you, everybody has at least one problem. And what happens that investors are very clear what problem are you solving. Because from here you're going to start till you are clear with your problem, you cannot get into setting up a minimum viable product. Right? So you should be very clear what problem are you solving. Because investors, and someone said, I think Krishna only said that it has to grow. The money of the investors has to grow so that they invest in you. And our mind can think about 2,500 to 3,000 thoughts every hour. And from there, I'm talking about ideation. right? So 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts in a day we get. So can you list down at least one problem every day that your startup can solve? And what differentiates our human beings from other species?
And conscious thinking.
Okay. So another word for conscious thinking is imagination. That's what entrepreneurs do. They imagine. And when they imagine, they solve problems. So these are, can you identify the pictures? What products are these? Car wipers, dishwasher, caller ID, call waiting and caller ID, Monopoly game, diapers, and home security. These all innovative businesses, innovative ideas came from solving the problem. And if you go and search, all these 6 startups were started by women. So investors are looking at what problem are you solving? Now here is out the trends. How do you identify what trends are there? So technology, Krishna, you mentioned, right? Or Dipansh, when you mention about Dipansh and Harsh, when you mention about your business, either getting a PG, good food or cut fruit business. Here we are talking of the demographics in this case. So this is how your problem will fit somewhere in this trend, or your opportunity will sit somewhere, whatever the market trend is. But your minimum viable product should take into account not only the macroeconomics, but most important, the customer, the supplier, the government regulations, and being in the technology world, the technology, and whatever you're learning. Someone who wants to do it after 2 years or 5 years, which means wants to gain insight. Someone who has an existing family business can actually first intern in the family business, learn, and then get into starting one's own venture. So your business should take into account all these trends before you get into ideating. Now, I will again stop here and get into some of the discussion points on minimum viable product. So what does a minimum viable product mean?
So the minimum viable product means like the basic product that the consumer are ready to pay for, and that can be like the basic product that doesn't require a lot of capital and a lot of resources to start with. So to check like the market is responding to our product or not, or be it like it can be a success or not. So that's why we make a MVP for the
right. All right. And how long you should spend time in creating the minimum viable product?
It's like 1 to 3 months of period is like good enough to like for the whole study, like how the market is responding, and like what is the response of the consumers toward the product, like be it pricing, be it the demographics, like in which regions the product is getting like success, or where there is needs to be improvement. So that can be done.
Okay, all right. So let's say we take your example of getting good food, or the Dipansh example of cut fruit, right? My minimum viable product is I have to just buy the fruit and cut it and take it to the customers. Do I need 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Or 1 day is enough? Right? Because as I do it, what will I learn? When I start taking it to the customer, what will I learn about my minimum viable product?
Ma'am, I think the feedback would play a crucial role.
So what kind of feedback? What will I learn?
Mistakes to be corrected.
Should I cut? So minimum viable product, minimum input plus maximum output. All right. So Should I cut fruits a little more smaller, bigger? Should I put a fork? Should I put a toothpick? How my cost is increasing. If I buy a fork, my cost is high. If I buy a toothpick, my cost is less. If I don't buy any of this and just give it, there's no cost. Should I buy plastic containers or disposable containers, eco-friendly containers? How will my cost get impacted? What kind of fruits am I going to bundle? It should not leak, it should not get smoggy, it should not smell. Right? Now, but if we take example of Krishna, where his product is about technology, his minimum viable product may take actually 3 to 6 months. Because an integration of gadgets is happening. Right? So for him, it may take that, but still having a demo product and taking it or applying it is the first part of minimum viable product. We have not to wait that it should look very glory. बहुत सुंदर नहीं दिखना चाहिए, जाके test करना है. So minimum viable product requires that go and test in the market. Would the investor invest in your minimum viable product, or would the investor invest in that you having 10 customers today and you promise that after 10 days you will have 100 customers?
I think minimum viable product.
Investor will invest in minimum viable product?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else?
When the product have the potential to reach to more people.
Yeah, so one is either the investor will invest in your minimum viable product, or the investor will see that you have created customers from 10 to 100. Where will the investor invest? In the customer segment, customer base that you're building, or only in the minimum viable product?
It's the customer base, ma'am.
It's the customer
Your
base?
facts plays, your number plays a very vital role in funding when it comes to these things.
Exactly.
And your parents are your first investors. Don't wait for an angel investor. Don't wait for the government funding. Your family and friends. And there's one more term that we use. If you search Professor John Mullins from London School of Economics, he says there are 3 first set of investors that you have: family, friends, and fools. Those who trust you and invest in you. So your minimum viable product should be testing the market. It should get into the market immediately to test so that you keep improving. Right? So someone, Harsh, if the food is a problem, and let's say, for example, you only want to do that business. Simple, what do you need? You need to have lunch boxes and someone to cook, or you are cooking 2 items and selling. You can start today itself. And then you will experiment whether I should have a dry sabji or a liquid sabji, or parantha or roti or rice or salad or papad. And salad में भी onion डालना है नहीं डालना है क्योंकि smell आएगी. Right? How are you going to price it? That's how you think through. When you think about your minimum viable product, think you are the customer. Now let me do it. And let me test it on myself first. So I am my own first customer. How will I like it? And then I take it to my friends, and then I take it to my family and start getting feedback. Yeah. So minimum viable product is nothing but testing the market. Unless and until it involves technology, where you need to, let's say, do coding and build a product, where you need something very specific in technology, then it takes time. But then that requires proper planning. But there would still something that can be taken to the market. So does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody? Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how many of you, just give me a thumbs up because I'm able to see the screen. How many of you actually will start your business? Okay, thanks, Shivam. How many of you will actually have a business now, later, whatever? Okay. 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 So rest of you are going to do a job. Is that so? Can you raise your hand for the rest? Harsh and Shivam, can you please put down your hands and let me see? So rest of you means would be doing a job. Can you raise your hand? If you don't do a business, if you don't do a job, what are we going to do? Are we going to get married and sit at home? Is that the plan? Okay. So one last piece, which I will, I'll share my screen, and one last piece that we'll cover. We have 5 minutes to go. So we spoke about trends and opportunities, right? And you will create your idea by looking at the trends and opportunities, and from there your minimum viable product will come. How do we do it? Eventually, we are saying you should have an idea bank. To test your product, you should be talking to prospective customers. There is no shortcut to that. If, let's say, you know that you're going to start your business after a month, so 30 days before that, today you decide I want to start, and you want to start after a month, every day you should be talking to minimum 1 prospect, maximum 5 and more if you can, but minimum 1. This is you're testing your idea before you actually start developing it also. And what will make a successful business? Customer. That's your first investor. And your attitude. And when we talk about attitude, we say being an entrepreneur is neither a part-time or a full-time job. It's a lifestyle. That's why I said, I love entrepreneurship. Yes? So that's about for today's session. I will take questions now.
I think I got my answer. Like, family business. First, I should do and learn my family business and learn the learnings which I can apply in my own business, like secondary business, which I want to build.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Anybody else who wants to share or have a question?
That brings me to the first message I have typed, ma'am. That's as you have asked us, na, that why you all are here, and I have typed that experience. So I can get everything from YouTube skills, and I can acquire from online. This, we're living in this world, this digital world, but experience is something that can only be gained through just hustling and just giving your time.
Yeah, you have to do it to gain. As I said, learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Yeah,
that's the journey that you have to take. Everybody has to take.
But that's, I think, so the backdrop. I mean, not backdrop, but what you can say, since you are giving your time, but this world is changing every single, with every single second, this world is changing, and you don't know कि कब आपका आइडिया किसी और ने ऑलरेडी करके दे दिया.
तो हमेशा एक स्टेप आगे रहने के लिए आप जब रोज करेंगे तो हमेशा आगे रहेंगे.
That's just thing.
And see, it's not, see, the outside world is an ocean. आप अंदर देखिए, आप क्या करना चाहते हैं. कितने सारे साबुन के ब्रांड हैं, सब चलते हैं ना, कितनी सारी कंपनीज हैं. तो ये थोड़ा है कि एक आपका आइडिया सिर्फ आपका रहेगा, unless and until you have a copy, you have a patent on it and nobody else can take it. कितने सारे हम फूड बिजनेसेस हैं, बट अभी भी देखो इस ग्रुप में अभी भी आप बोल रहे हो कि फूड की प्रॉब्लम है, राइट? कितनी सारी सिक्योरिटीज एजेंसीज हैं, तब भी आप बोल रहे हो कि थेफ्ट की अभी भी प्रॉब्लम है. तो पहले हम ये कंपटीशन तो खत्म कर लें, ये कॉम्पिटिटर खत्म हो जाएगा, फिर हम सोचेंगे कि मेरा आइडिया कौन चुराएगा और कौन नहीं चुराएगा. हाउ डू आई सेव माय आइडिया? यस,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Anybody else? Any question? So did we learn something new today, or did it give a trigger to us, to all of us? We learn from each other. So today I learned that out of the group of 22, 3 or 4 want to be entrepreneur. The rest I don't know what they want to do. And as faculty, my respected faculty who's present here is present for the students. So all my due respect to them. Yes, yes, Deepan.
If anyone has any questions, they can ask ma'am. So, okay, I don't think anyone has any questions left.
So what I will do, Deepansh, I'll wind up the session by talking a little bit about my entrepreneurial journey, how I learned and what challenges I faced, and how did it eventually pan out, right? So when I started my career, it was teaching in Delhi University as a lecturer. And I never thought that I will stop doing this and I would want to do something else. But as time took its course, there was a time in 2005, I realized I don't want to teach. I want to have my own, I want to do something else. And that something else I didn't know. So life took me to a course where in 2007, I started entrepreneurship. From 2005 to 2007, I was experimenting, but I was not clear. So 2007, I actually got into formal entrepreneurship. I formed a company. I had a partner and we started off. Now look how teams are formed. When I had a partner, after 1 year, we realized that we are 2 different personalities and we will not be able to work together. So we parted. So we did work separately then. So I again continued the entrepreneurship route and said, okay, let me see what I really want to do. Now, being an educator in my career, the educator inside me was alive. But there was also another passion. I wanted to explore the food business. So I started doing birthday party catering. Only birthday party catering, no full-fledged catering. So that was my niche that I said, this is only that I want to do. I created a menu, 2-3 items which I knew, I started selling them. And I got orders. But in learning was, when you do homegrown business, the customer will say, give me a discount. But a customer who goes to the shop and buys food from another catering shop will never argue or bargain on a price, right? But when you do a homegrown business, the customer, even for food, will bargain. Give me a discount. Now, when I had to add some more items, because I was doing birthday party catering, the high ticket items as well as the most demanding items that were in much demand were like pasta, noodles, and burgers. I knew how to make noodles, how to make burger, but I didn't know how to make pasta, which I could do for my business. Making pasta at home is fine, But when you have to do it as a business, it's a very different ballgame. I actually took classes. I attended a class of pasta making, and then I added that item. Now, this I did it for 2-3 years, 3-4 years. I realized now I have to make a choice, education or food. I realized I cannot do food business because I cannot stand in the kitchen or any work area working with food 24/7. I don't like it. So think I was doing it, I was earning, but I realized that I will not be doing this whole of my life. So I went back to education. I started thinking what I want to do. Then I started forming team. Other people joined who were trainers, who were educators. And then we started doing corporate trainings. Then we started doing trainings in colleges. And then from there, I started finding out what is the specialization that I want to build. And that's how career counseling and career counseling happened. I upgraded my skills. I did a course. I started. And then imagine, now there's a first customer I want for career counseling. There's a call that comes to me. I have no structure in place. And the person asked me, I want a career counselor. Would you do it? I said, yes, but I was not able to tell what is the process, what is the price. And I lost that first customer. But then immediately I knew that I have to create a process. And after that, every call that came, I was able to sell. Right? So that's the journey through entrepreneurship. You are exploring and learning what you want to do. And every time, even today, what career counseling started as a vertical in 2015 in the business, that still remains our MVP because every day we innovate. Every day we develop it. Every day we refine it. So minimum viable product is not that you will create it and then it will finish and you will have a polished product. We have been in the market selling career counseling for 7-8 years now, but still we reinvent it, still we rethink how we can improve. So forming a team, selling, marketing, collaborating, these are all things that entrepreneurship requires, and these are the challenges every day we face. In a job, you know that because you have a job, you get up and go to the office. In entrepreneurship, nobody is going to wake you up. Sunday is a Monday and a Monday is a Sunday. So that mindset has to be built. Yeah. So hope this helps everybody who is present and you have some takeaways to apply in your life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing such valuable insights and experiences that motivated all of us to look at the brighter side of entrepreneurship. I am sure we have learned a lot from this insightful session. Now, I would request Harsh, the Joint Secretary of IIC Ramanujan College, to come over and deliver a final vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. Myself, Harsh, Joint Secretary of IIC Ramanujan College, hereby take the privilege to propose a final vote of thanks for this extraordinary and enriching session on the topic Lean Startup and Minimum Viable Product. And I initially would like to thank the Faculty President of IIC Ramanujan College, Professor S.P. Agarwal sir, for permitting us to organize this session, and also Dr. Nikhil Rajput sir, the convener of IIC Ramanujan, for his consistent guidance and support. Moreover, thanks to Akhil sir for his constant support for his guidance throughout the session. And I would like to thank our eminent resource person for the day, Ms. Hermit ma'am, the co-founder of Hermita Consulting, for a valuable time and consistent efforts in making the session a truly fruitful one. And a special thank you goes to our event organizer, beginning with Pankari and Shruti, the team leaders of the event, and volunteers who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure a smooth and successful session. Your hard work, attention to detail, and dedication have not gone unnoticed. We are grateful for your commitment to creating a seamless experience for all attendees. Last but certainly not the least, grateful thank you to the lovely audience. You were consistent, determined, and consistent for the whole session. and thus making it a successful one. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you all, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Akhil sir, for all the support.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful and enriching session.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure all of us have learned a lot from this. And firstly, your experience, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Pankhuri, for being in touch and giving all the support.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was lovely having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Harsh, Dipansh, and all the students. Goodbye. Good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.